This is Brandon Specht, and you are watching Retro Spectrum. Hey everyone, it's Brandon, and you are watching my Super Nintendo Classic Edition unboxing video. Nintendo's 16-bit era has returned, and I for one couldn't be happier. The folks over at Nintendo have curated a perfect collection of 20 games, plus the never-before-released Star Fox 2. Now seriously guys, who could forget about some of these classic Super Nintendo titles, like The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, or the high-speed racing game F-Zero? Let's not forget about Super Mario World, or Donkey Kong Country. What about the original Star Fox? Or maybe it's time to go turbo with Street Fighters 2. Oh, and one of my personal favorites, Mega Man X. Some great games that appeared on the Super Nintendo, and they're all in the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. Now, if you can't tell, I am super excited about this whole package. I think this whole thing is totally cool. It's a great value, and I'm looking forward to take a look at what's inside. So let's get going. Let's take a gander at what's going on inside the box. I've been waiting for this moment for quite some time, ever since they announced the system. All right, so it looks, first off, on top, it looks like we have some sort of instruction manual. I'll put that to the side for now. And then, of course, we have the real deal. Let's see, it's so small. Look at how small this thing is, guys. It is miniature. How did they fit all these games into one miniature Super Nintendo like this? It's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's got all the fixtures just like the original Super Nintendo. It looks identical, just much smaller. And as you can see in the back, we got our HDMI hookup. So these games are going to look better than they've ever looked in the past. Let's see how these controller ports work. So it looks like the old controller ports, but you actually can hook in your Super Nintendo Classic controllers inside. And what's cool is they also fit into your Wiimotes. So if you like the Super Nintendo controllers, now you can use that on your Wii or Wii U. All right, speaking of controllers, let's check these guys out. They look identical to the original Super Nintendo controllers. I love it. I love this controllers. I thought this was such a huge jump for Nintendo to jump up to these controllers, and I love that we can now hook these up to our Wiimotes as well. As you can see, what's nice with the Super Nintendo Classic is you actually receive two, not one, but two controllers this time around, which is great because there are some great cooperative games in this system. Some of the games I'm thinking about that are on there, Super Mario Kart, love to play that two players. Even the original Mario World, 2 players. Some great Super Nintendo games. As you can see, here are our cords, comes with them. One thing I will say, all the cords that are part of this system are very short, including the controller cords. I'm told you can buy extensions and all that, so that's something you might think about doing for this system. All right, let's take a look at this instruction manual. What is going on with this guy here? And it looks like this is actually this has got some information on here, but this is actually a poster. All right, so this is a whole poster that showcases some of the games. We're going to have to take a better look at this. I love that Nintendo has brought back their classic slogan, now you're playing with power, superpower. And then they go on to highlight some of the best games that are on the system and some of the best games that were on the Super Nintendo. So that is it for our Super Nintendo Classic Edition unboxing video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I thought, just for fun, let's check out a side-by-side comparison between the Classic Edition and the original Super Nintendo console. So on the left is your Classic Edition controller, and here is the original Super Nintendo controller. And as you can see, for the most part, they're almost identical. The one major difference, the only real major difference, is the input cord, the way the cord is shaped. Obviously, this is longer, plus they have the original Super Nintendo input, so it's a little bit different at the end, but otherwise, these things are almost identical. And here you have your original Super Nintendo, and just take a look at how different they are in size. It makes the mini Super Nintendo Classic look so tiny in comparison to the original. I absolutely love how much they look the same except for the size. Now there are a couple things I want to do before we finish this unboxing. The first thing, let's have a moment of silence for all those great games that didn't make the final cut, like Pilot Wings, or Donkey Kong Country 2, or even 3. And what about one of the greatest RPGs of all time, Chrono Trigger? Next, do me a favor and drop a like on this video. And if you have any suggestions for me on which games I should play first, tell me about it in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to click the subscribe button. And if you're looking for more unboxings like this, the beautiful Marcy Renee is doing an unboxing of the Snow White Storybook Eyeshadow Palette. Man, that's a mouthful. Check it out. Enjoy.